Underdog Daily with the BadgeBros, Jon and Nez here for a Dog Bowl edition Wednesday. Excited, running it back with the $10 price point there. The 6-man drafts. I know Nez is going hard. I saw a tweet this morning say he's going for that max daddy of it all. Hopefully, one of us can find our way there, or hopefully, one of the members of the community can find their way to San Diego, aka Slam Diego. Nez, exciting day on the platform.
It is. It's always exciting for Dog Bowl days. And this is the first time we've got $10 with 6-person drafts. So hopefully we get to see a better fill rate for Numi. Love that.
Yeah, and I mean, this is kind of the first slate that, knock on wood right now. We're not dealing with crazy Q tags in the first round. There's a couple that are a little bit further down there, but crazy Q tags in the first round and no random cancellations and postponements and all this sort of stuff on a Dog Bowl slate. So this is the clean, fair battlegrounds for that we want from the NBA for the Dog Bowl, right?
I mean, until now, you just jinxed it. So get ready for some crazy ass late Q tags in the middle of our show, thanks to you. So
yeah, I mean,
we almost had it.
We almost had it. Like yesterday looked like it was shaping up to be okay. It was like, hey, just worry about 8 and it'll be all good. Like that's just the one major shoe to drop, and then all of a sudden, Steph Curry right after lock there was a crazy one. But we saw some friends and family at the top yesterday. Got to give some shout outs there. Laney Ross takes it down, but E. White, a member of the community, is always hanging out in second place there. T. Pollock, Manta Ray, some of the usual suspects in there. And then Easy found his way in the top 10 again. He's starting to put it together in these hoop streets. So, yeah, man, just lots of shouts to the community.
Yeah, AD getting hurt too was one that you didn't mention. That was basically like a late scratch, essentially.
Yeah, that was essentially, especially after second night of the back-to-back, coming off such a huge game there for him. Yeah, hopefully he doesn't miss too much time there. Actually, we did.
He said he's going to miss a week, but yeah,
okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, by way of injury news, we did get a bad one this morning, though. One of our favorite players to watch, and a lot of people's favorite players to watch, according to that impromptu tweet survey I ran the other night. Jalen Johnson going to miss the rest of the year. We knew he was battling through that shoulder and then came back and then was battling while he was playing. Then we joked about the dunk where he takes off and slams one down, and the announcers are, oh, guess the shoulder's fine. And then, 2 days later, 3 days later, he's going to have surgery on that torn labrum. So, yeah, that's a sad one to lose.
Yeah, 30% Jalen Johnson in the double dribble. So get him next year.
Get him. I don't like next year, Nez. Oh man, that fucking sucks, dude.
Sure does.
Gross. All right, let's talk about today, dude. We got 11 game slate. It's 9 games everywhere else on planet Earth, but the good people at Underdog treated us to the 11 games. I like the 11 games there. But we're kind of running into the same. Maybe it's just me, but the same mindset problem as we were running into on Monday's slate there, where you had some really good success in the top 3 there and top 100s all around, where, the scrolls should feel better. They should feel more palatable. They should project so much better on this slate than others, yet they're harder to get to on these bigger slates because the players that you're passing on project so well, or they're such household names there. So yeah, just macro thoughts on the dynamics of an 11 gamer here, Nez.
Yeah, a lot of scrolls, a lot of options in the 6 rounds. So, I wouldn't get too anchored to any particular player unless you feel like you're really finding an edge that no one else is getting to. Be my guest. But I'm very cognizant of the fact that the player pool is like 50 players deep today, maybe even greater than that. So I'm not trying to, get too concentrated as far as the number of players in my player pool. I'm trying to spread out that wealth, which means you got to sometimes reach in the 5th round, which, we're known to do. It's nothing new. It's all part of the process. So yeah, I'm keeping my third eye open to some scrolls in the 6th round. And I think I got some that might even make you blush. So we'll see when we get to them.
You naughty boy, you. Yeah, no, I respect it. I respect it. I mean, don't just take what Nez is saying. Listen to what he's saying at face value, but like, don't take that he doesn't practice what he preaches, because you go back to Monday slate there with the team that was in first place for a bit, fell to third there, and you had DeJounte Murray on that team, and you had Jakob Poeltl, and DeJounte Murray wasn't getting drafted 100% in the 6th round early in the day, and then ended up pushing up into like 6th, back end 5th. And Poeltl wasn't getting drafted early in the day, let alone even late in the day at 100%. And you pair those two 6 rounders together, boom, third place, 5K in your pocket kind of deal. So, yeah, just not getting too binary with the magnitude of projection that is going to be 3 points between player 20 and player 50, and finding some narratives as to why to get to different ones there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big old flat tier from like the 3rd round into basically the end of the 4th, middle of the 5th. So, it's kind of tough, and it makes me want to just kind of bypass that range a few times.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about some, as I bring this up here. Let's talk about just some macro lay of the land stuff before we hop on over to the beautiful Unabated platform there, and just talk about some macro ADP stuff and the Q tag stuff. So I think the first most noteworthy thing is kind of just like this top 3 tier here with Joker, Wemby, SGA, that kind of seems to see Wemby and SGA flip flopping every now and then, but there's kind of like a clear line in the sand for the top 3. Anything to say on those 3, Nez?
No, I mean, they're the clear first tier, and I am doing Wemby over SGA, and I think most people are as well. So
yeah, ADP
not really much to go here.
Yeah, ADP starting to reflect that now they've flipped because SGA was ahead all night there. The next one that I'll point out is Cover Boy Zion Williamson there. He's still yet to eclipse that 28-minute mark, but it hasn't stopped him from producing in fantasy points in a big way. And he seems to get another decent spot on paper here. He has moved from about ADP 20, 21-ish when the contest opened last night, all the way up to ADP 12, and sometimes he's going as high as 9 in rooms there. Just thoughts on Zion and factoring in that pendulum swing in your drafts here.
Yeah, I mean, we were getting free square Zion for quite a few slates that he was on, and now we no longer have that. It's one of the highest totals on the slate, and yeah, I can't really fault people for getting frothy for Zion. He's a fantasy point per minute monster, and you never know when he finally cracks that 30-minute mark. Wouldn't want to be late to that party.
Yeah, no, yeah, especially in what looks like another decent spot on paper there. This is a good one as well. Harden has been a big riser between last night and today, so you could see a lot of teams, like I have 3rd round Harden plus 4th round Zion on the right-hand side of the board from last night. I did pair it with some probably terrible 6th round pick, so it probably doesn't matter at all, but I'm just throwing it out there that those are kind of like the two. We like to point out 2 of the biggest risers there. One discourse that's going on in the chat is with the second Q tag on the slate, but I bring it up because it kind of goes hand in hand with the Devin Booker ADP that's kind of been pushing up because some people were anticipating no Kevin Durant this evening or whatever. Unabated, reason to subscribe, use promo code BADGE at sign up there for 20% off. In their Discord, put that Kevin Durant went through shoot around and they boosted his conditional projection to about 60%. Yet the Underdog blurb suggests the opposite, which is not true. So Justin's here clarifying that for us, and the Unabated Discord is clarifying that as well. FYI, the Underdog just changed the blurb. There you go. So we had moments of news that was pushing in a dominant direction there, but now seconds later, such as hoops, where things change. But yeah, Kevin Durant looks like on track to play with the thumb this evening, but still has the Q tag. And then DeJounte Murray had a probable tag. He gets that nice green active one there. And then Jason Tatum is the biggest Q tag amongst star players. Looks like a good spot, second highest total on the slate there against Chicago. Boston's kind of been doing some staggering of these Q tags. Nez, they did the Horford thing, then they did the Zinger thing, then they did the Derek White, and they were kind of staggering who was in and out. Sam Hauser was in that. And now it's Jason Tatum's turn to have the Q. And some of the guys have played through it, but most of them have not. Any lean on the Jason Tatum situation?
I don't necessarily have a lean, but I am, treating each draft very conditionally, where if I don't draft Jason Tatum, then like I'm being pretty aggressive on Jaylen Brown and or Kristaps on those teams. And if I get, Jason Tatum at pick 14 or 15, I am basically snap clicking that. This is a spot against Chicago that we all know is a great spot. They're huge favorites here. So that, slightly concerning, but somebody should be getting home in a big way on Boston. So it's essentially like, min one Celtic for me on all these teams.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I respect that a lot there. What was your tipping point for Jason Tatum? You said, 14, 15, 16 range, but player, if you had to pinpoint a player who you're like, okay, that's the stopgap. Now I take Tatum.
Yeah, I mean, kind of basically Brunson. Basically
Okay.
Brunson. Right after Brunson goes, then I will at least strongly consider Tatum if I, depending on how my draft started and, maybe I'm trying to get some different pairings at the 1-2. I feel like I have a lot of Tatum with Joker right now, a lot of Tatum with, Wemby right now, just based on ADP. So there will be times when I purposely bypass Tatum to get some different combos and then tell myself, okay, well, let's get JB, on the 3-4 or 4-5 or something like that. So it all depends on, how many Tatum teams I've had in my most recent drafts, but Brunson basically.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Yeah, I was doing Brunson ahead and Miles Bridges I was doing ahead as well. Bridges ADP is you either like it or you either love it or you hate it, kind of an ADP today there. So that'll be a fun one to talk through first game on the slate there. Nez, anyone else that you want to kind of like point out? We did get the Sixers injury report. And Paul George is out, and Andre Drummond is out. So that was kind of in between injury reports here. So I mean, just in terms of Q tags at the back end, don't have to worry about the Paul George one anymore. But Steph Curry here, we talked about the late addition to the injury report and then ruled out prior to tip yesterday, and then Josh Hart with the Q tag. Any thoughts on those two?
Yeah, I'm not loving Curry today. He might dress, but I just think the Thunder, with Hartenstein back, I feel like the Thunder are going to win by 20 points here. So I just don't see how we get a dominant Curry game here, given the front court defense of the backcourt defense of the Thunder here. To me, it just feels like not a spot I really want for Curry. So
Okay.
even if he plays, like, I'm cool with it, man. I'm not gonna have a lot of Curry today. And then Hart's had this Q tag for the last 2 weeks too. So I think Hart's gonna play. I think Hart is a great pick right now.
Okay, cool. So you like Hart over Curry in the 6th round?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. Just to share some insight on the Josh Hart Q tag, as you alluded to, he's had it. He had the one random neck one, but it's always been just that right knee soreness tag, right? So there's that. And then the Curry one, I think he plays tonight. I'm a little more bullish on prime time island game going up against the best team in the West, Steph, than you are there. I'll play into like the narrative a little bit. He's going to project, so much better than this, but that band of ceiling projection that you're referring to, I could see why you would want to omit him. We haven't seen a ceiling game from him in a long while.
Yeah, and he doesn't even project that well.
Okay. Yeah.
Like even in general. Like I mean, like you really gotta go narrative on Curry here.
Sure. Well,
If you're leaning into it.
he'll project 6 to 7 spots better than ADP. Is kind of all. Close?
Not really.
Not really.
I mean,
okay.
It's pretty shocking. Like I mean, like Bam, per ETR looks better than Curry, just as an example.
Yeah. The Bam one is
the PRA for Curry isn't like I thought Curry's PRA lately has been like 37, no matter who he plays. It's like 32, 33 today on top of it all. So, plus Thunder, like the Warriors just look like such dog shit, man. I don't know. I'm leaning blowout here, but obviously I can understand where the Steph bull case is coming from. It's Steph Curry. I was just watching his third year highlights last night, like just to remind myself who Steph Curry is. But no, I get it. I get it.
All right. Okay, cool. Let's do this. Yeah, 37 on the pick'em for Steph there. Steph 36, 5-7 last time versus OKC. Ooh, that might have been his best output of the year. Yeah, just things to be aware of. 2 5th round Tatum shares. I was playing Tatum as if he's not playing, and I was pushing up JB, so I might have given away some of those Tatum shares even last night. So yeah, I could see all of that existing there. All right, let's move into the game by game stuff here, Nez. Unless there's anyone else, one isolated player or any other isolated player you want to talk about before we do so.
No, let's just get into it. We got a lot of games to go through, so they'll just come up naturally.
Yeah, some of these games we could for sure just kind of, I don't know, not like bypass, but like, you can kind of just say a blanket statement.
There's only so many draftable players, on the slate and per game.
Yeah. And this might be one of them. This is the first game on the slate. This is going to be a very, very popular game on Redacted, but it is not going to be so in our contest. It is lowest total on the slate, that 205. Hornets are 2.5 point favorites. Hornets are without everybody, basically all their starters in Melo, Green, Trey Mann, Cody Martin, Brandon Miller, Mark Williams, and then all the other guys they're usually without as well, who are done for the year, and G Leaguers. So they might be only 9 deep tonight. They might only be 8 deep tonight, which is why Bridges ADP is in the second round there, in and around 15. Sometimes you see him go as high as 11. Sometimes he falls to 16, 17. And then nobody on the Nets is getting drafted. Nets injury report. Without Noah Clowney, and then without Cam Johnson, and without Cam Thomas, no Derek Whitehead as well, and then the usual suspects in Boyan, Maxwell, and Melton. So, yeah, I mean, can we get to Claxton in the last round? Can we get to Diabate's playing 30 minutes at the 5 today in the last round, or is there just like nothing to click on here outside of Bridges in the third?
There's I mean, it's Bridges. I think Russell in the 6th round, like can be clicked. He's been playing a lot, and he just like dominates the ball, and has so many assist opportunities, and he can have big games.
Yeah.
So like I think D'Angelo Russell, if you're like, if you're looking for a really low owned scroll. Yeah.
I was close. Diabates? I was close, right?
I mean, the fact that you just brought him up, I think, is what Nick is referring to.
Oh, I thought he was saying I butchered it, like I called him like diabetes or something.
No, it's the fact that you were like, you even like said his name.
Dude, he might play 30 minutes. There's only Taj Gibson behind him at the 5.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Okay. All right. Let's keep this train rolling here. The one thing I would say about the D'Lo stuff is I'm more apprehensive to play D'Lo the nights in which Ben Simmons is in, but I would say matchup specifically with this game, if they happen to play small and they do some like Bridges at the 5 or something, we could see backup 5 run for Ben Simmons, and then him and Russell are on the court at the exact same time. That is super thin. That is super gal brain, but I'm just throwing it out there as a bull case for D'Lo this evening, staying on the court with the minute ceiling.
Yeah, and I think the D'Lo Simmons stuff is a bit overstated. Like D'Lo has had good games when Simmons plays, so I don't think we need to worry about that. Like this is his offense when he's active. And then with Miles Bridges, man, I don't want to say that like the ceiling seems low, but it does seem low. Like the PRA on him compared to other players in the player pool today, like they go cheaper than Miles Bridges, but Miles Bridges is like the only guy playing for the Hornets. So like, it makes sense why he's going this high. But like, I have a few Bridges teams, but he's definitely not somebody that I'm excited to get to or trying to get to, but I do have some shares of him. Shout out Chad. Chad, he's not in the NBA streets quite as much, but every now and then he'll hit me up on Dawg Bowl days and tell me like who he's liking. He has a bullish projection, and you're gonna love this one, John, on Josh Okogie.
Oh, I like it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, Josh Okogie against I was against the Timberwolves. No, he's a Hornet. It's like, oh shit. So I'm not doing it, but I was like, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I see the usage there. But just had to throw that one out there for you.
That short slate on Saturday, I want to say, I played a lot of Okogie in the 6th round. I kind of got bailed out by the fact that Green got hurt. Cody Martin got hurt. That's how I got bailed out on that one. And then I played Okogie off the bench, and then Okogie played like 30 plus or something like that. But yeah, that's a kind of a fun one.
That's all.
Yeah. Nick Smith balled in that game too when they were missing everybody as well. So I mean, like these are huge darts in the 6th round. And I think there's better darts available, but I think D'Lo. You cited that D'Lo is probably the best of the bunch in terms of back end dart there, and I'd have to agree with you. Yeah, this is just crazy pace down spot for like both sides. Like it's so ugly. Like Hornets pace without Melo and without those guys on the floor is naturally been so much slower this year, and like the Nets are like one of the slowest teams in basketball. So it's just like there are just not enough possessions to go around here. But Miles Bridges might play 38 minutes and play the handling role with the first unit. And then with the second unit, he might just stand out there on the court in the 4 and, get a couple boards here and there. So, yeah, the minutes will be there. All right, let's go to Pacers Pistons. Pacers back on American soil here for the first time in 2 games. They did that set in Europe there. They're 7-point favorites against the Pistons. Pistons been playing some good ball since Christmas. I mean, we've been talking about it quite a bit there. Usual suspects for the Pistons are out, the G Leaguers and Jaden Ivey, and nobody else. Nice to see that Tobias Harris is not listed there after the borderline concussion, but not listed as a concussion. But the Pacers side has one to deal with here, which is Nembhard with the Q tag, which could factor into a little bit of the handling role. Freeman and Jackson both with doubtful tags on G League assignment, which means we talked about the Pacers being so forthcoming with their injury report. They're working their way back is what those doubtfuls would indicate, but they won't be ready tonight kind of deal. There's going to be a whole lot of bodies available on both sides here, Nez, and it makes me not love it. But if we do lose Nembhard in this one, I would like, Hallie and Siakam a little bit more. Kind of surprised nobody's touching Miles Turner in the 6th round. And then on the Pistons side, only Cade getting drafted there. So maybe some leverage in Duren in the last round, something like that. What do you like?
Yeah, I definitely like Cade here. He's that, that early second round pick. Sometimes I'll pull him up and make him a 1-2 turn pick, something like that. Try to get a little different combination there whenever I'm, behind the 8 ball without a top 3 pick. That's really it for me. Duren is a pretty good shout. Duren is clearly trending up. We've seen, in the last 10 some really strong games from Duren that we did not see early on. So I think there's reason to be bullish on that. I'm not sure what the reason was for the slow start for Duren, but clearly playing better basketball. I mean, I'm not going to draft Jalen. I'm not going to draft Duren today,
Okay.
but like I like the call.
Okay.
I do not think that that's a bad call at all. Pacers side, it's really just Siakam and Hallie for me. And I am making sure that I get, that I don't like, it's really easy, at least in my opinion, to to completely forget about, Hallie today and even Siakam. I think it's pretty easy to forget about them, but like they have ceilings, and I think this is like a pretty good spot against the Pistons. This game could go way over its total. So I want to make sure I have some Siakam teams and some Hallie teams in the event that game does happen to go over.
Okay, cool. Do you have a preference between those two? Because I've seen Siakam go ahead of Hallie a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of prefer Siakam.
Okay.
But Hallie does have a massive ceiling, but I think Siakam right now, it looks like the better click.
Okay. Sounds good. I respect it, my friend. All right, let's move on to Slop It Up Fest number 1 of the night. We got the Wizards as home dogs to the lowly Raptors. So you got 2 of the worst basketball teams in the Eastern Conference. Maybe I'll take it a step back. They are still our Raptors. They haven't lived up to their potential yet, and they've been very banged up. All right, they're not in the same class as the Wizards. Go. All right, there we go. But Wizards as we just got a big shift in that one because it moved to 5, and now I'm seeing 6.5. That was weird for the Raptors there, but a 230.5 here, and we got some rule outs on the Wizards side of the ball already. Let me start with Raptors. Aforementioned was IQ being ruled out. Kelly Olynyk has a Q tag, and Grady Dick has a Q tag. Jakob Poeltl had that monster game on Monday in the 6th round there, and Kelly Olynyk was not available for that one, so could have factored into some of those minutes uptick there for him. When we were just talking about that ceiling outcome, but two noteworthy ones to keep an eye on in Grady Dick and Kelly Olynyk, and then all the G Leaguers are just labeled as out. And then on the Wizards side, no Alex Sarr, no Malcolm Brogdon, and no Marvin Bagley the third, which brings into play one of our favorite 6th round clicks on any slate in which it looks like he could get opened into minutes. Joval revenge game narrative going up against the Raptors here, though I'm not sure there's much revenge in his heart for that one. As you guys can see while I'm talking here, we're getting the 2:30 p.m. news dump on the right-hand side. So Tatum questionable still, Kobe White.
Those are like yesterday, a lot of yesterday news. I'm not sure what's going on with that.
I think it's just because they're updating the injury report, so they put like all of the injury report in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, maybe. This game though, Raptors and Wizards. I mean, dude, it's evergreen for me that I love RJ Barrett, and I love RJ Barrett here a great deal. He's been a 6th round pick all day. I still think he's a 6th round pick, and that just to me is just makes it hard to deviate at times whenever I'm trying to deviate. So I will be pulling up RJ into the 5th round sometimes just to get some unique combinations, get some different combinations, because RJ against the Wizards with potentially no Grady Dick, man. I'm playing that. I'm playing the shit out of that. And of course, Scotty Bolway as well. Big part of my portfolio. I have him sometimes ahead of Maxey, but definitely player 7, if not player 6 for me. He's been playing so well. And, I think no Grady Dick just boosts the hell out of him and RJ today against the Wizards. This game should be crazy. And then Poeltl, I think Poeltl is once again a really good pick today. Even though Kelly O might be back, I just think Poeltl, bigs against the Wizards, man, have just been cooking. So I think Poeltl should be a strong part of people's portfolios today on the Toronto side too.
Yeah, I agree with you on all of the above. We'll talk about the Washington side in half a second here. Let's do a fun little rank these players as scroll the F downs. or not scroll the F downs as just kind of like 6th-round picks right there. Let's do Jamal, Zinger, Hart, Curry, Joe Val, and then the 2 Toronto guys. Are you putting the 2 Toronto guys in Pirtle and RJ over this whole tier?
I would probably rank it. No, I would go like Murray, Barrett, Hart,
Yep.
probably Steph, Pirtle, Kristaps, RJ, or Kristaps, Joe Val.
Okay. That sounds pretty good to me. So you still like the Murray, highest total on the slate. We haven't got to that game yet. It was highest total on the slate.
That game is going to be awesome.
Okay. All right. Cool. There you have it. So that's kind of like the price tag associated with RJ.
For me, at least, yeah.
Okay.
And then the Washington side is a little easier to talk about, Jordan Poole still is going like way undrafted, which like I don't understand. I like Jordan Poole here is like pretty live for 40 points here. Really like him today. Available pretty much anytime you want him. Just makes a lot of sense in this spot here where this game could easily exceed its total. Kuzma I haven't gotten to, but like, man, I think Kuzma is a pretty interesting pick today. I mean, that game against Dallas, you see there, didn't quite lead up to expectations, but before that, he was like seeing good minutes. But I'm not doing Kuzma, but like, Kuzma in this spot, I can't help but like think about, they've just been letting these young cats play and seeing what they got in Keyshawn George and company. The real secondary option for Washington is Joe Val. Joe Val is a legit play today. Like you said, like you said, no Sarr
or Bagley.
No Sarr or Bagley today. So I mean, unless because Toronto is probably gonna have Kelly O, and Pirtle is a big part of their rotation, so they almost have to have Joe Val out unless they like decide to like play small. And if they play small, holy shit, man, Pirtle is gonna feast. I mean, it would be insane. Like the Pirtle game we would get if like Joe Val gets into foul trouble or Joe Val just sucks. I mean, the last time Joe Val was in a spot to blow up, I think he had like 10 turnovers. It was the most egregious game I've ever seen. But Joe Val as a scroll today, I mean, what percentage will he exist in the player pool? I mean, 1%?
I think people like him, and I think people see the same thing you see, and
they'll
start playing him a little bit more.
Oh man,
yeah,
you have so much more hope for the field than me, dude. Like Steph Curry, like you think people are scrolling past Steph Curry to click Joe Val?
No, you're right. People are not scrolling past Steph for Joe Val, but
other than you and me.
Yeah, he'll be. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be relative to what the sushi tells them to do, and if the sushi tells them to play it, they'll play it. So, I think Jordan Poole will be definitely owned at a much higher frequency. But
Poole will get up there, but he's still pretty low owned as it stands.
Yeah. I like the pool party today call. I like the Joe Val call. I like this spot in general. It's fun. T-Bear knows a little bit of ball here because Bruce Brown, I don't like to bring up the redacted. Please strike those initials from the record there. But I think Bruce Brown has been playing well from just watching some Raptors ball the last couple weeks here. He had a couple of nice off the bench runs. Both him and Chris Boucher could be nice like depth trade ads for teams right now. Trade deadline sneaking up on us, Nez.
Yeah, I always thought Bruce Brown was like not just a Jokic merchant in Denver, but hadn't really seen a whole lot from him in
he's been
Toronto,
hurt for a long time.
Yeah, and even when he hasn't been hurt, maybe he's just been playing hurt, but now we're finally seeing a lot more Bruce Brown lately, which is good. Yeah, maybe potential trade piece for them.
Remember the year before Pascal and we got the Pascal trade and we got like kind of excited about him when I don't know if he was signed or traded to the Pacers there. We got kind of excited about that one.
Which Bruce Brown to the
Yeah.
Pacers?
Yeah. Because then he was part of the Siakam trade back the other way.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Anyways. He played for Brooklyn as well. I forgot that. I erased that from my memory.
Yeah, that's not in my memory bank.
Yeah, I erased that. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a good synopsis of the Slop It Up Fest of the night. Very interesting one to talk through next here. Cavs and Heat. Cavs are not back to full strength, but they're back to full strength in terms of the big four. But they're still without Samarel. Samarel's questionable with the illness. Sorry. But they are still without. Whoa. Did we just get a Darius Garland ruled out?
John, good morning.
What is dude?
He's been out for like hours.
For real? I totally missed that. When I was doing all my prep this morning and all that stuff, I totally just glossed over Garland. I thought all four were playing tonight.
Oh yeah, brother.
Oh, okay. Wow. I've been kind of fucking up some of my Cleveland exposure in the drafts here. Oh, damn. Because I knew there was no Wade. I knew there was no Levert and no Okoro, and that's what I was going to talk about. But there's also no Garland this evening. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I've been passing on Mobley and Donovan Mitchell a little too much, man.
Well, I mean, when has Donovan Mitchell ever disappointed?
That's fair. That is fair. Oh,
like
man.
Mobley PRA like barely moved at the news.
Okay.
Mitchell's did. It went like the high mark, the high mark of the candle wick was 37.5. And now it's like 36.5 everywhere. Against Miami, I do just worry that this is like a trap spot. However, you're not seeing a huge shift in Donovan Mitchell ADP. There were moments where he was like being taken in like this in pick 17, pick 18. But for the most part, he's staying around pick 20. So you can make up for that if you want to.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. I was definitely messing that one up. So what do you think happens with this starting lineup for the Cavs? Does Ty Jerome move in and become 6th-round clickable?
He's not clickable, but
no,
I don't think so. But I think Ty Jerome is a pretty sneaky hire, for sure for Pick'ems. I would play him that way.
Okay, don't tempt me with a good time here, Nez. What do we got here? Big Ty Jerome here. Let's see what we're working with. He's got points. He's got 13.5 by way of the PRA. Double at 10x.
Jesus.
That's a lot to ask for from a guy who doesn't really fill it up in any other category other than points usually, right?
Yeah, you'd have to check the box score. I just know that he's a good player.
Like his ceiling game's what? Like 28, 4, and 6? Like something like that?
Not a bad ceiling. Not a bad ceiling.
Right. My point is it doesn't flirt anywhere with double-double.
Oh no, absolutely not. Yeah. He's mostly a bucket getter. So maybe you just do 15.5 points.
Yeah, we could also do a little 3-point slider. That's fun. Donovan Mitchell.
What's that?
You're killing lineups.
What do we got? What do we got for slide options for 3-pointers?
If we get it up to 3.5 threes, you can get it to 2.63. If you go up to 4.5, that's a lot to ask too. 4.5 is 6.5. Let's just do a cheeky point slide here and see what we get to.
Do 20 ball?
Yeah, a little 20 gets us to this 117. And then we add our boy Joe Val in here for the double-double and see what it looks like. Double-double's even money for Joe Val. Holy smokes.
I mean, I like it. That feels pretty goddamn good to me.
I think I prefer boards plus points.
What's that set at?
24 and a half.
What's got you scared? The points or the boards?
Neither really, but it's just like taking double doubles at even feel bad.
Not if they're good.
Profound insight here on the BadgeBros today.
What if it isn't bad? I mean, sometimes they're good, John.
Okay, here. All right. You like the double-double. I like the Ty Jerome slide. And we like Josh Okogie so far.
Yeah, but Okogie's not in there.
Oh, man, they're shook. Oaks is shook.
They don't know.
They won't give us anything.
They don't know what to do with Okogie.
All right, let's see what we have anything else on the Hornets like Nick Smith.
I mean, nothing that like I feel great about.
You liked the D'Lo one. Do we see D'Lo?
Yeah, let's do D'Lo.
D'Lo PRA. D'Lo PRA gets this to 10.
Cool.
All right. There you go. 50 for 530. 531. Those are kind of just like our little it's like a little cheeky, but it was kind of like our little cheeky play the best plays, you know?
This is how we scratch your scroll DF down itch.
Right. Yeah. Because on a day where I can't draft like Ty Jerome and can't get overweight these guys, like I want to get Josh Okogie in my life somehow, right? Like you bet your ass I'm gonna be perusing the lobbies for Okogie soon. Okay, I totally lost where we even were. We haven't talked about the Heat side yet. Well, I guess we got to finish the thought on Cavs. So Mitchell and Mobley at ADP, Allen in the last round. That's it for you?
Yeah, and even then, dude, I'm not even really getting to Jared Allen here.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's talk about the Heat side.
That is the summary. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the Heat side because the sushi and the hashtag models are going to tell you to jam Bam, and the people in the chat are going to tell me to jam Bam because he had one fucking 50-point game in an overtime game.
Overtime, yep.
Yeah, and they're going to tell me that like, hey, Bam's ceiling has now gone from the 35 that we've seen for months and months on end to, oh yeah, he's got a 51 point ceiling now. He's got a 55 point ceiling. I'm not fucking buying it. I will take Khalil Ware in the last round. I will not jam Bam all day long because the spreadsheets tell me to jam Bam in this spot. Will you be jamming Bam, Nez?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Bam is one of my tried and true fades. Every single slate. This one is absolutely no exception.
Yeah. What are you thinking for other players on the Heat here? We are going to have, I guess I should run down the injury report real quickly here. Butler is out, team suspension still. Do you think he gets traded? He has to get traded, right?
100% he gets traded.
Where do you think the most likely landing spots for him are?
I truly have like no idea. I truly have no idea.
I would say Suns and Kings would be the two that I would throw out to the ethos.
Yeah. I do think Suns.
Yeah.
I just don't know what like this Riley saga is just ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And it's the problem is like a lot of the stuff that they would get back is like Beal or Fox, and they both have to have their no trades waived and they have to absorb the contracts. And did people even want Butler if they're not going to re-sign Butler? And I don't know. The Butler stuff is kind of crazy. Like, how desirable an asset is he really? I don't know. We've seen that 80-point fantasy game and we've seen playoff Jimmy, but it's also been a minute since we've seen him. Anyways, Tyler Hero's available in the last round. Jaime Hawkins had an illness, but he's been listed available to play. Duncan Robinson's been listed available to play. Heat are kind of full, I would say, comparative to what we've been dealing with in recent memory. Outside of Jimmy Butler, Ware's available in the last round as well. Thoughts here on the Heat side? Are you interested at all?
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely interested in Hero. where he goes. His ADP is like 23, but like you said, he does fall quite a bit. I'm all into that. Given the how banged up the Cavs are right now, I don't think this is necessarily a spot to be fearful of. So definitely like Hero. He projects pretty well in my estimation. And I think Ware in the last round is viable. I'm not doing it yet. I may do it once or twice just because this dude's an anomaly. I don't really care what his pick'ems ever are. Like where is like Wemby light right now. So I want I want to have some exposure to Ware. And I think if you are using projections and using pick'ems to, to decide whether or not you like Ware or not, like I just think that that's not necessarily the way to go about it. I think you just need to understand that this guy does. Like, I'm not saying you need to have a ton of Ware in your portfolio, but like understand that Khalil Ware can put up 50 tonight, and like it shouldn't surprise anybody if that does happen.
Right. He's like showdown slate Marvin Mims, where it's just like, oh yeah, he just scored 2 touchdowns and 140 yards out of nowhere, and it's like, wait, yeah, it was not that out of nowhere. Like I know he's not going to do it every day, but
Right.
we knew it was in his bag.
Exactly.
We knew it was in his bag, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, man. I don't see it being a terrible spot here.
Okay. Cool. You just brought up the Wemby light comp and this sort of thing. Dude, this guy dunks and threes and 7 feet and the wingspan. He is fun to watch. Like it's just he's either slamming it down or he's shooting it from deep. It's really fun. But I did see a really good tweet yesterday from our guy Lewis Bennett, and he said I retweeted the exact wording was Ahmed Thompson is the Wemby the Wemby of Josh Hart's. And I was like, that's the most perfect description I've ever heard in my whole life.
I guess how can anybody be the Wemby of anything? But like
right.
That's funny.
It was very funny. I thought it was really, really good. Okay, cool. I think we're clear to move on from the Heat here. That's disrespectful to Josh Hart, the only player in the NBA, to be reminded there. Spiked up, drop a buy to give us a 1 USD, one of those clean sheets in our pocket. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Where was the one that I wanted to see in the chat here while everybody's talking about Bam, bullshitting around? Justin had something smart. This one. He said no. Bucket said no to Memphis already. I'm glad he said no to Memphis. I want to see Memphis do it on their own. Our Memphis Grizz. We want to see them do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want him in Memphis. I don't want him there.
Yeah. Yes. Jared Allen got mentioned as a scroll. Nez is not overly mix it in kind of deal. That was kind of the thing. Yeah, Steven knows my Grizz. Our Grizz, baby. Our Grizz. We're all in this together. All right, Nez, let's move on to Kings and 76ers. -8 by way of the Kings here. 231.5, which was a little high knowing that we were going to be without Embiid, Paul George, and some of the auxiliary pieces, and being on the second night of the back-to-back. But Tyrese Maxey balled the F out last night there. Maxey's basically the only one getting drafted from the Sixers side. I could see some 6th-round Yabu or Kelly O, something like that. And then on the Kings side, it's Sabonis in the 1st round, and then it's Fox, who's just kind of free-falling in the 5th and the 6th here. We've talked about the injuries on both hands. He's not on the injury report for that. There's all these rumors swirling about him being a trade piece. I was a little eerie last night that we might get like a midday Q on him today just to kind of like protect his trade stock. You know what I mean? We're kind of getting to that point of the season where teams start doing that in spots where they're heavy favorites, which would really like make me like Monk and DeRozan as scroll the F downs in the last round. I'm still kind of fine with both of them there, but yeah, just thoughts on this game and the guys in which who are getting drafted here. You're hit me with a yeah.
My bad. No, Maxey, dude, just is like an anomaly. Like he just continues to outperform his projections night after night. Just an incredible player.
Can we put him in full-fledged straight hooper conversation? Like
He's a
Maxi's just
hooper.
like
Oh yeah.
he's a straight hooper, right?
Oh
Like
yeah. Maxi's been a hooper. Yeah.
he's in that like that dog ass. I want this guy to play 3-on-3 with the chain net like tournament. Like that. I want Maxi on my squad, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maxi's a dude.
Yeah.
So we were very much excited about that. Thank you. Bria, what is this? A milkshake?
Ooh, brings all the boys to the yard.
Little Portillo's
Wow.
milkshake.
No free ads.
Sorry, yeah. That's the hot dog place.
I've never even heard of that before.
It's very big in the Midwest.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad she was able to go. She loves hot dogs.
Oh,
Anyways, Kings. We'll go to the Kings because like Sixers, it's really just Maxi. Like Oubre, I guess maybe Oubre. I'm not doing it.
okay.
Kings though, Sabonis, top 4 pick. Just this, I've never seen anybody that can just like walk into 20 boards like Domantas Sabonis can. It's pretty unbelievable. So he's pick 4 for me today. And then
Sabonis
Fox
just
is
always
falling so much.
Yeah, Sabonis just always feels like the safest first rounder where it's like, I'm going to get 43 or I'm going to get 58. And it's just going to be like, I'm either going to be in contention with my 4th place team or my 4th draft slot teams, or I'm not going to be. And it's all just going to be predicated on whether he scores enough to keep up with his rebounds.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. So like Sabonis, love Sabonis at ADP. Fox, man, keeps falling, and I like Fox today, right? I'm glad I got to see him like have a good game, so now I can feel confident in taking him again. Because this is, I think against the Sixers here, I think this is going to be a pretty good spot for them. Sixers off a back-to-back. I think they're going to be a little tired. The total's 230, 231. You're seeing a lot of different, numbers there. I'm bullish on these Kings. I think Malik Monk, scroll the F down option today as well. Makes a lot of sense. So, yeah, I'm interested in these Sacramento Kings, man.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think DeRozan and Monk as scrolls feel good, and then kind of just Maxi on the Sixers side. They're in lockstep with you. Do you have a lean on the whole Fox situation, and should we be getting overweight him at the back end of drafts here?
I think you should get overweight Fox for sure.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I did not see this. Did you see Easy's comment? I did not see this, but I would love to see it.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. So what we allude to as a grown ass man in the NFL, like 230, 6'2" at the wide receiver position, getting too smalled by an NBA point guard.
I mean, Maxi has like small, like hyper kid on like too much candy energy. And then you actually see him and he's like, oh yeah, like Maxi could be like, like a tall NFL wide receiver.
Yeah. he just needs to full out a little bit. Gumby saying max 1 king or doing Fox / Boner together.
I mean, I agree.
Yeah, that's a good one. Brandon throws some context here on the rebound stuff that Sabonis opened at 18.5 rebounds in the pick'ems last night. That's fucking
holy
gnarly.
Shit.
That's a big number. Mike's asking random puck question here, just getting into the puck BRs. Do you do bringbacks in puck? No, you don't have to. Just correlate lines and stuff. There's no like game environment stuff type scoring. It's very much like foot or like baseball in that regard, where it's like you can just win by like one team going ham with a little bit of uncapped correlation. Okay, cool. Let's move on. Celtics and Bulls. We kind of talked about this one off the jump there. Celtics as 14-point favorites, a 228, which is kind of low for a Bulls game, but I guess that's largely just because they're implying that Celtics will blow out one side and then there'll be bench run and whatever, and Celtics play decent perimeter defense there. But yeah, Bulls injury report had Kobe White with a Q tag. Now it looks like Kobe White's trending in the right direction to play this evening. I'm trying to find it. I'm scrolling all over the place. Yeah, but Zach LaVine is out and he's going to miss some time. Personal reasons there. Kobe White's still listed with the Q tag there, which might open up a little bit of like giddy stuff or something. But currently, Vooch is the only guy routinely getting drafted from the Bulls. And then the Celtics side, big Q tags on Sam Hauser, Al Horford, and Jason Tatum, which could open
Way to
up.
bury the lead there, man.
Yeah. Well, we
Big
talked
Q
about
tags, Sam Hauser.
it. Sam Hauser. Nice. Oh shit. Yeah, big Q tags on Sam Hauser. Yeah, so that'll be very interesting whether we get, we're gonna see a skyrocket in conditional projections
Yeah.
for JB, Zinger, and maybe even Peyton Pritchard in the 6th round because the spot is good and the total is high and they're big favorites here. So yeah.
Yeah, on the surface, when you see Bulls without Levine, you do immediately go like, okay, Giddey and or Kobe, usually Giddey, but against the Celtics in Boston, maybe not. Maybe not doing that. So I thought about doing it, and I'm not doing it with Giddey. Even Vooch is really hard to get to for me, but sometimes he falls, and I'll take him like past pick 20. Man,
How about
I don't know what to do with Tatum. I mean, I am taking Tatum, like we said, but like I have no lean on whether or not he plays or not. And we kind of opened up with the Celtics discussion. I am giving these Celtics a boost in my ranks when I don't have Tatum. But it like Tatum has not had very good games in his past few games here. Could that be related to this knee that he's on the injury report with right now? He has missed a game earlier in the year due to like tendinopathy in the knee. So I think it's very live that he sits. And John, let's just, play what if Tatum sits, Jaylen Brown goes where?
Tatum sits, Jaylen Brown becomes like the high meteoric riser that Zion was last night. So he moves from 22 to 14 or 13, and people take him over Bridges. They take him over, maybe even over Zion, like kind of
Over
in
Brunson?
that clump. We haven't got to that game yet, but still highest total on the slate, and that Josh Hart Q tag plays a little bit of a role there as well. So Brunson might be like a stopgap, but I think he'd project better than Brunson.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jaylen Brown, you're gonna see. I think you're gonna see Jaylen Brown be like a top 12 pick if Tatum gets rolled out.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, man. Why not get ahead of that a little bit? Nobody's really doing that, and I'm like kind of confused.
I'm surprised no one's taking Zinger. That's one that I've been kind of confused by. He goes undrafted a whole lot, and he'll project quite well without Tatum. He projects okay with everybody in, and we've talked about the spot of centers against Vooch, right? Like, yeah. I mean, maybe the concern is he only plays 28 minutes, and
yeah,
that's the
I
deal.
think that is the concern. But I like Porzingis quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah, that one's going to be pretty interesting. I kind of lost track of the Vooch conversation there because you started it out with on the surface, and all I heard in my head was
Eminem.
comment ready. I was like to drop bombs, and I was just like grooving. I was like,
the John brain is undefeated.
Justin say that Porzingis is his highest drafted player. Glad I'm not alone in that. But he isn't playing 30 minutes lately. Yes. Yeah, it's a very interesting spot there. Okay, cool. Let's move on to highest total on the slate here. This is the Nuggets and the Knicks. They're 242, and Knicks by 3 in the Garden. Joker in the Garden, man. This is just fun from a viewing experience for sure there. But the big Q tag there, Josh Hart for the Knicks. And outside of that, everything else looks pretty clean. And then on the Nugget side, everything is just clean, no funny business. So this one looks pretty straight up. Nez, you said this game would be awesome. What are your kind of thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, Jokic, obvious 101. And then outside of Joker, though, It's really just Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray was going undrafted last night. Still falls to the 6 tonight. Love Jamal Murray tonight. So it's pretty easy on the Nuggets side of things. Like I'm not doing MPJ. I'm not doing Russell Westbrook right now. Russell Westbrook has really fell down to earth. I think, as you mentioned quite a bit, probably coincides with Aaron Gordon getting a little bit healthier. But like Joker tonight, obvious 101. And Jamal Murray is a really nice pick too, going in the 6th round.
Joker in the Garden, dude, after they just lost to the Bulls, like, doesn't this just feel like Joker goes ham night? Like he's just like, fuck this. How do we lose to the Bulls? Like, I'm writing the ship tonight for everybody. Nationally televised ESPN in the Garden. Like Joker just reminds everybody, like, I'm a walking triple dub.
Yeah. Yeah. I am super, super excited to see Joker play tonight.
Yeah.
Knicks side of things, they get a good matchup against the Nuggets. Highest total you're going to see for a Knicks game probably all season here. Cat is a top 5 pick. And I have so much Jalen Brunson, dude. I just really am surprised that Jalen Brunson, is getting passed up right now. Man, and with this total here, and the Knicks playing so condensed, I love Jalen Brunson tonight. So he's going to probably end up being my highest drafted player when it's all said and done.
Let's play a couple 1v1s here just because I think it's a fun exercise. We'll start with the Brunson and then work back there. Let's do the 1v1 of Brunson versus J-Dub.
Brunson, easily.
Yeah, like the J-Dub rebounding metrics with Hartenstein back in. Yeah, they kind of scare me. That one. Brunson versus Zion.
Zion.
Okay. So you're gonna have a lot of them, but you're gonna have them ahead of Tatum, and you're gonna have them in this range. We haven't got to the Ant Edwards game yet, but do you have them like ahead of Ant? Like, do you have something like this?
I have, just to like get a little bit of Ant Edwards in these drafts in the main slate. I do have Ant ahead of Zion, ahead of Brunson, but like. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I like Brunson more than Ant.
Okay.
But I mean, you're not always going to see me taking Brunson over Ant. But
sure.
In my heart of hearts, that's how I feel.
Okay, cool. The other 1v1 I would ask you is kind of this, or I guess it's a 1v1v1 would kind of be this tier at pick 4 with Sabonis, Maxey, and Cat from this game.
Kind of how you have it, but like I don't think that Sabonis is a hard, 4 over Cat necessarily.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I respect it. All right. Brandon saying the money start there is the Joker Brunson Zion. Yeah. I mean, Zion, man, he's been skyrocketing. He's even hard to get at 12 sometimes now, which is abnormal because he was going at 18 last night.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's jump back. Next games here, Nez. We got this Mavs and Pelicans. I keep reminding everybody we got to start thinking about being on Luka watch, but we are not anywhere near it just yet. But we did get Dante Exum with a doubtful tag, which means he could be a welcomed addition back to the rotation there. Najee Marshall with a Q tag, and then all the centers out again in Kleber, Lively, and good Canadian kid Dwight Powell. That's the Mavericks side there. We could talk through the ADPs of Gafford and Kyrie, and then PJ Washington sometimes in the 6th round. And then on the other side of that one, the Pelicans, the aforementioned Zion has the active tag. So does DeJounte Murray. And then they're without Herb Jones, Jordan Hawkins, and then all the G Leaguers basically there. Obviously no BI. Apparently Tucker loves this game.
Tucker knows ball.
Tucker knows ball. I'm going to get Tucker to calm the fuck down.
Yeah, awesome game here. We have, Daniel Gafford, who is right now like the biggest conundrum in hoops is like, what do we do with Daniel Gafford? The ball knowers, the box score observers are putting Daniel Gafford on a pedestal, keeping him in the top 20 in ADP, and it's hard to fault them. Daniel Gafford without Lively in games where he's playing 30 minutes is a fucking tank. So I like him here against the Pelicans. Very much into Gafford, but I am mixing up Gafford and Irving, whenever I am taking these Mavericks. So I like both of them in this spot, in this total. I think this is going to be a really close, competitive, high-scoring game, which, was the problem when the Mavs played the Wizards last time out. There was a blowout, so we didn't get to see full Gafford run, didn't get to see full Kyrie run, and I think that is part of why their ADPs are depressed right now, or suppressed, because they didn't get a chance to ball out. This is going to be a super awesome game for the Mavericks right now, who are basically a style of team built around PJ, Gafford, and Kyrie. And this game should be close, should be high scoring. That's extremely beneficial for them. PJ, I think, is an awesome scroll. Gafford at ADP, Kyrie at ADP, sometimes Gafford and Kyrie flip-flopped.
Cool. How do you feel about pairing the two together? Be a contrarian thing there, but they are decently condensed, and it is
I don't think you
close
need
spread high total.
Yeah, no, I love it. I don't think you need a bring back either. I don't like it can help for sure. I don't think like Kyrie hitting is great for Gafford hitting, because that means that these guys are like the game is close. The game is close. The game is high scoring. Both of these guys see the floor a ton if the game is close and high scoring. So like you can tell yourself that like Gafford that they pair well, not necessarily like Kyrie dimes to Gafford, get the 3.5 scoring, but just knowing that means that game is competitive, and that they both, if one hits, the other one has a good chance of hitting. It makes sense. And I do think, dude, doing some bringbacks is smart here, but you don't have to do it.
Okay. Did you touch on the fact that they just basically didn't play the fourth last game, and that's why their box scores? Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is crazy, because they were like, the starting unit was like a plus 25 or something like that. It was weird. And the game was like,
the Wizards are just dog shit.
Yeah, I don't know. That game was weird, man. Yeah.
I didn't talk about Pell's side yet. Obviously, Zion day, so we are all over Zion today. Love it. I think the talking point is really these other Pelicans, which are, for our intents and purposes, DeJounte and Trey Murphy. I don't think you can take CJ when all these guys are healthy. He just has been taking such a hard back seat to all three of those guys. So no thank you to CJ. But Trey in the sixth round, I think is a really nice pick. Although I do worry about his like ceiling when all these guys are healthy. If I had to pick between the two of those two, my gut says PJ. But Trey is getting drafted more often. But I think PJ might have the better ceiling there. But I love, if I have I love taking like three players from this game on one team.
Just Caffrey's asking if we've seen teammates get there in a shipper in a 10 to 12 game slate. I think literally on Monday. Wasn't it Giannis and Dame in the same lineup that was like first or second? I think it was literally.
I had it in first place for most of the night. Yep, for most of the end of the night there. Yep.
Oh, it was your lineup. My bad. Sorry to. Yeah. So literally the last 11 game slate. So yeah, we've definitely seen it. We've seen it work, and those are two that you would traditionally think don't correlate as strongly as like some other pairings. Like DeJounte plus Zion would be like a better correlation pattern than Dame plus Giannis for ceiling games. Or like Harden plus Zubac would be like a better ceiling correlated one. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Clippers and Spurs, 221 here. Clippers 4-point road favorites there. Clippers, man, nearing back to full. They'll be without Chris Dunn still. But yeah, we saw a little uptick in Kyrie minutes. He got to that kind of like 28 threshold last game. So yeah, Norm, Zubac, and Kawhi, almost going almost all undrafted. I've seen Zubac go a couple times, and then Harden's just a staple of the second round on the Clippers side. And then Spurs side, it is Wemby in the first round, and then nobody else. Can we tell ourselves a story? I mean, they're pretty healthy and they have nobody listed other than the G Leaguers. So can we tell ourselves a story to any auxiliary Spurs player or auxiliary Clippers player?
I don't think so, man.
Okay.
Harden, Zubac, though, definitely in play. Harden is like a top 13 pick, so not saying anything revolutionary there. But Zubs goes undrafted quite a bit, and I think that he has paths to a strong game here if he can find himself into like he needs like 4 or 5 stocks, but like he's done that, so I don't think it's crazy. That's really it for me. I'm not doing Kawhi. Kawhi, homecoming game in San Antonio. Great narrative. Fantastic narrative. Not doing it yet. Like, I think we're going to know whenever we can draft Kawhi. I don't think that's going to surprise us, but I still think Kawhi is going to have some pretty special moments here. And then, I can't do anybody other than Wemby against the Clippers.
Okay. Yeah, we also got the CP3 revenge narrative against the Kawhi narrative from the other side. Dude, this game might just be high side screen and rolls over and over and over again. Like it just be like 2-man game on one side of the floor with like Wemby and CP3, and then 2-man game on the other side with Zubac and Harden. A little worried about Wemby against a grown ass man like Zubac at times, but like, man, he can start stretching that thing. This could be a little. I want to see that matchup. I want to see what it looks like. I want to see what the game environment looks like, but I'm not like jumping up and down to get to pieces of this game. This is an interesting one. Zion or Harden in the second round there. Do you have a lean there?
Harden, but
Yeah.
I fucking love Zion, man. It hurts me to even say that.
Yeah. Brandon chiming in saying he's pairing so much Zoo with Wemby. I mean, I think that's a good way to play that game, man. Like there's probably a little uptick in positive correlation of them two staying out of foul trouble and just going blow for blow against each other.
I'm sure it's fine. I don't know why initially like my gut reaction to that is like I don't want to pair opposing bigs, but I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah. I know why you wouldn't want to pair opposing bigs because they both can't get rebounds and usually you need one guy cooking the other guy and whatever. But like that one feels kind of fine.
Yeah, Wemby's an anomaly, so it's probably fine.
Mm-hmm. 5.5 threes is a lot to ask, Tuna. We kept it at like 3.5 when we did that one there. Okay, Nez. I guess I think you framed the Kawhi stuff quite well, where it's like we're gonna know when we know kind of thing. So I did like that phrasing of like we were all trying to be ahead on Zion. We were all trying to be ahead on Paolo and the minutes tick up. I think it's going to be more transparent with Kawhi as well. I think that was a sharp point from you. Okay, T-Wolves and Suns here, 218.5 +1. So Suns are favored in this one by 1. This is an interesting iteration of the T-Wolves because we've talked about how condensed they've been all season long. And, we're without Dante DiVincenzo for this is kind of like the 4th or 5th game here, the new reality of this team. And then Rob Dillingham and Naz Reid both have illness tags here. So though the spot isn't like crazy enticing, this could be a thinner rotation than we're accustomed to here, Nez. I imagine Mike Conley steps into that starting lineup as per usual there. But I'm basically Ant is the only guy who gets drafted. I think we should do a little bit of Randall scrolling in the last round because if Naz Reid's unable to go tonight, like I don't know, man. There's going to be just a little extra uptick in opportunity for that starting unit.
Yeah, I am really interested in Julius Randle tonight specifically. He's not necessarily like a big, but he does play inside. And man, Nick Richards is here, but like centers against Plumlee, dude. just forever.
Ooh, we're back. We are back to the. Are we back to the Rudy Gobert well here, my friend?
Like I think it's. I don't think it's crazy. I don't think
Ooh,
it's crazy.
okay. All right.
I don't think it's crazy at all. Like
They,
God, it feels horrible. It feels horrible to take Rudy Gobert on a big slate. But like,
yeah.
I kind of see. I've been doing Randall because I'm like, okay, Randall makes more sense.
Right. He'll actually shoot the basketball.
Yeah, but like, you never know, man. Rudy could just be like an offensive board machine tonight, um, and end up with like 12 and 18. I like the shot from J Cam. I've gotten there in the main in the Hump Day hoops.
Okay. All right. I respect it. Yeah, that seems like a fun little scroll there. I do feel like none of it feels comfortable right now because we haven't seen ceilings from it, but this does feel like a spot where you could kind of get ahead on some of it. The other one on the other side there with the Suns there, Ryan Dunn with the Q tag there. He's missed, I think, 2 now and is kind of like a fixture in that starting lineup. Maybe he's only missed 1. And we talked about it on the short slate there. I guess I'm trying to think what day it was. But we talked about how Beal could maybe enter the starting lineup again, but it was not Beal. In fact, it was Royce O'Neal, and they kept Beal in the second unit handling. And then obviously this is the iteration with Nick Richards at the 5 in the starting lineup there. So if Dunn can't go this evening, do you just assume Royce O'Neal draws back in, Grayson Allen, like some push pull there, that sort of thing? Because there's a lot of moving pieces with the handling, Nez. This is why I ask you, because I think people really want to click Booker right now. And they really wanted to click it when we had the Q tag early in the day before Durant going through shoot around. Like people were pushing him up to like 14, 13 because they wanted to be the smart guy with that pushed ahead click. And I don't think it was a very smart move. That was kind of like my thought.
And you think it's because of Ryan Dunn?
Well, I think it's because there's a non-zero chance Beal draws in and takes some handling, and we saw that not work at the beginning of the season. So I think there was some push-pull dynamic because like Booker will project as the 9th best player on the slate if Durant gets ruled out and Ryan Dunn gets ruled out. And people wanted to get ahead of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just think that Booker is fine as is. I've not really worried about like Bradley Beal's been so ass right now. I don't know how much ball he can actually dominate. Like I don't know how he can. I don't know how much handling role he has anymore.
Okay.
Just because he's just been so bad.
Okay.
Booker, I think Booker's a great pick right now.
All right.
You have I like the Durant thumb. Like yeah, he went through shoot around. I think it's a legit question. He was really like it was really bothering him last game. Mm-hmm. He was he was constantly like playing with his thumb. He ended up getting benched for a small moment of time. I don't hate Booker here potentially going back and forth with Ant. Now the game environment isn't awesome, but like we also are not dealing with a super expensive ADP on Devin Booker either for for a guy with his ceiling.
Oh yeah, 4th round Booker is amazing right now. You're not going to catch me slipping on that. I was saying when people were pushing him up to that, trying to be smart in the 11, 12, 13.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else to say on that one? Just any other players in your player pool outside of Durant and Booker and the 3 we mentioned for the T-Wolves?
No, that's it. But I definitely am like interested in intrigued by the Rudy Gobert option.
Love it. Oh, you sick fuck. All right, let's move to the last one on the slate here. This is the late night hammer. It's the 10:30 p.m. Eastern game on ESPN. It is Warriors and OKC in Golden State here. Steph Curry with the Q tag in the last round and is the only person getting drafted on the Warriors side there. They have not officially filed yet, so keep an eye out for, second night of a back-to-back and who knows? It's the fucking Warriors. Let's just leave it at that. And then on the OKC side there, dude, pretty clean. Just still without Chet Holmgren. They've already got Hartenstein back there. So yeah, they're pretty close to full here. In their like, I mean, for the first time in a while here. So yeah, what are we doing outside of SGA in the first round, J-Dub in the second, and Steph Curry in the last? Are you liking their price tags, and are you liking, Hartenstein, etc.? You're muted. What's up? Still don't got you, dude.
Sorry, I was muting myself when I drink that milkshake because you don't want the ASMR of me
Yeah.
sucking down a milkshake. Sorry. I love J-Dub. I want to just preface with that. I do love J-Dub. Look at good boy back there. Oh, he was up. He was up for a minute. He said, what are you saying? What are you saying about J-Dub? What are you saying about Jalen Williams?
He's
great player.
Looking for some squirrels, I think, in the hedges. That's what I think he's
Yeah, J-Dub's ADP is too rich. It's way too rich today. With Hartenstein back, he had a nice game last time out. The fantasy point per minute just takes a huge hit. So it's not something that I'm partaking in. I've taken J-Dub a few times because I do think that there is still a ceiling there with Hartenstein, but I think on the whole it's not a good pick. The pick'ems for Jalen Williams are so depressing. His PRA right now
31.5.
30.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not pretty, man.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's do a little comparison. By comparison, what is RJ compared to him? Because I think that's
35.5.
Wow. And they're 20 picks apart. What is Jamal Murray? And they're 25 picks apart as well. 20 picks apart.
Jamal Murray is 31.
Oh, so they're basically the same by way of the pick'em lobby.
Oh, Jamal Murray's 20.5.
Oh, okay. So down a little bit comparatively.
Yeah, I mean, I would take the old higher on that one. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, don't tempt me with a good time. We're back to the platform. Yeah. Okay, cool. So J-Dub overpriced. SGA kind of just solidified at that 103 spot. And then anything else, Hartenstein in the last round, do you like it, or is it too low a ceiling for you?
I don't love it, man, but he's clearly he's clearly draftable, right? I don't want to say that he cannot be clicked, but I do not love that at all.
Yeah. He has been a very good fantasy producer in terms of points per minute and in terms of just median outcome. He is a very good player at getting 30 to 45. When you're trying to win a dog bowl seat and trying to take the top two spots, give me the ceiling of some other bigs like Pirtle and Zubac and these guys, especially when you're getting a ever slight ownership discount on those guys, because we just don't see Hartenstein play 35 minutes. We just don't,
Yeah, he's an awesome 38 fantasy point producer. Awesome at getting 38 fantasy points. Probably not going to get you top 2 in the dog bowl tonight.
No. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Here's another one with Zinger, right? Both Justin and Mike Zakarian alluding to them liking Zinger. I said I liked Zinger earlier as well. Give me the ceiling outcome of potentially Zinger in that last round instead of Hartenstein. When you're trying to win one of two seats.
Exactly.
Yeah, Warriors side, I mean, a little hard to parse through without the injury report. Steph is either going to look better or just kind of the same, and he's just a fine 5th or 6th round pick. He will project ever so slightly better than that in my estimation. Nez does not think so, but basically nobody else you're going to really want to get to on the Warriors tonight. Tough defensive matchup, and just they're going to be pretty deep.
They're always deep. They're always too deep. And sometimes they might even bench a guy that you think is a starter for Kevon Looney.
Every now and then. Fuck Steve Kerr. All right, let's move on. Let's do two macro questions and then rip a couple drafts here, Nez. I thought this was a good one from Justin in the chat. He's like, do you guys feel bad pairing two teammates that go in like the top 15 of a slate? So, we had that conversation about Giannis plus Dame from the other slate. He's referring to like Towns and Brunson on this one. I mean, the Towns and Brunson one, I'm kind of fine with. I think they do cannibalize one another's ceiling, but it's also the highest total game on the slate, and they are home favorites, and you could be without Josh Hart. I don't think they're going to be without Josh Hart, but just throwing that all out there, if they only run 8 deep and those guys have such high minute ceiling, I think I'm fine pairing those two together in particular. But like J-Dub plus SGA feels bad. You know what I mean? Which kind of lines up in the same capacity. So, yeah, two ways of answering the same question. Nez, thoughts on that?
It's an interesting point to consider fading the pairing of Cat and Brunson because they're such high capital. I think that can make some sense in wanting to fade, especially like, but I don't think it's a bad pairing. But I can totally understand not wanting to pair them. It does feel like somebody has to score like 35 on there. And maybe they both do. Maybe they both get to 30. But like Brunson definitely needs to be like the focal point to have his big games, right? Brunson's not getting you stocks and boards here.
Right.
Like he's crushed like you're gonna need a lot to. It's sort of a needle to thread, but in a high total game like this, it's okay. You don't have to avoid it.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like the way it gets there is like you get 22, 10, and 5 from Cat, and then you get a couple stocks, and then Brunson, you get like the 35, 4, and 3 game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like 6. What's crazy?
Yeah.
22, 10, and 5.
Yeah. Probably not enough to win it.
34. That gets you like 45. If you get stocks there, that gets you like close to 50.
Yeah.
Might not do it tonight. Maybe it does.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like you're asking for 60 plus combined real life basketball points.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. 65, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. It would also be a unique pairing. That's true. There is some leverage in the fact in knowing that it was unique comparative to you can just have J-Dub plus SGA every single time if you want it, right? So I do think that's a good thing to think through. Yeah, the DeJounte plus Zion one, the Harden plus Zubac feels good. The RJ plus Pirtle in the last 2 rounds feels fine. Joker plus Murray feels good. First round, 6th round. Those ones all feel fine and feel better because of the capital spent. There was one other question, but now I totally forgot it. It was something about like bigs and guards and how you value them and that sort of thing. And if you ever just put all bigs together or all guards together and stuff like that, and it's very matchup projection and game dependent would be just like my stock answer. But the one thing that I would say is I do favor bigs as my last round picks when they are going there in these game, like in our game, almost to a fault because of the scoring system. And I think it might be a slight flaw in my game, but I always seem to gravitate to the bigs, lesser minutes, but higher point per minute ceiling types for whatever reason, just because of the stock ceilings. And that might just be like some bullshit narrative I've spun for myself.
I mean, you're a profitable player, so I don't think it's a bad idea.
All right, let's do this, Nez. I'll ask you one last time if there's anything else you want to add, just like macro thoughts before we draft.
No, I don't think so. I just, I think we're gonna be at a point in these drafts where we are, wondering like when is it time to scroll? And I think it comes pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, respect it, dude. Getting a Rudy Gobert jersey tonight if he ships it for him. Love it. Do you guys know if UD is going to be offering a battle royale type Super Bowl contest? Daniel, I would suggest heavily no. There was a lot of flaws in the single game stuff. That's why they've done away with the single games in general, especially when they were massive, large field stuff. There was a lot of complaints the first year that there was a very big contest of that, and then they just kind of did away with it the last 2 years, I guess. Now, so single game football positionless is only available in cash games. From now on, kind of deal. So yeah, maybe one day, but probably not this year. I haven't heard any murmurings of design new formats.
I don't think
like
we're gonna get it. I don't think we're gonna get it.
No. And to be fair, I wouldn't want it.
It's not fun, man. It's not fun. It's it really pushes the limits of the definition of what these games are when it comes to that.
Right. Because inevitably someone's going to end up with a Saquon, Mahomes, Kelsey team, and you're going to go, how the fuck? Never in my rooms. Never could my fantasy teams do that. And someone's going to scoop 50,000 with it. And the blowback is just play the cash games, play the head-to-heads. It's fun to get like a little sweat. I'll play, a couple of the $100 lobbies or something like that, and that'll be fun, and that'll be fine for the weekend kind of deal.
I got to tip my cap to Underdog for actually not offering them.
Right. Yeah, because they could easily do it and then just blindly close their eyes and say, whatever.
The last time they did one, they ran one for $500K.
Right. Yeah.
That's like $50K that they're like, you know what? Like, no, because people don't have a good time.
Right. Yeah. They're not waiving $50K in rake to service the draft community.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well put. Nez, is Cat a tier break for you, or do you like some of this Maxi talk? What do you like, dude?
I like Cat, but I will say Maxi has a better fantasy point pick'em right now. I'm just saying.
Let's have some fun with Maxi. Maxi 3 straight 50 burgers. He's shown some ceiling. Maxi's balling F out right now. Let's have some fun.
Let's go.
Scotty Bolway and Cat go on the corner there. I kind of have a line in the sand with Cade here, but I'll hear you out on anything else.
No, I like Cade.
Yeah, me too. Little pace up spot, though not as pace up as it may have once been, but yeah.
Taking a look at some of these fantasy point pick'ems. John, who has the better fantasy point projection? RJ Barrett or Bam Adebayo?
Ooh. I think they're going to be pretty close. I think it's going to be 34.5 for RJ Barrett. 35.5 for RJ Barrett and 33.5 for Bam Adebayo.
Ooh, John, you're getting taken to the cleaners, buddy. Bam Adebayo, 37.
Oh my God, lower.
RJ is refreshing right now. It was at 39. Maybe they heard you.
Wow. I was much lower. Wow.
You're too sharp.
Interesting one in the chat here from Run Good Rick. They're getting a little boost on 3.5 Wemby blocks. Can never say no to a little spicy Wemby there. Get your Mr. Good Boys in the chat. Not a surprise that he is being a Mr. Good Boy. Brunson going at 12 there. I can't wait to come up with some suggestions here. We got 3 non-Badgers in here. We got A-Win auto drafting. There's your Bam pick at 13. I've seen this happen a couple times now where Bam has been going inside the top 20. I've seen this quite a few times today. Yeah. Bam was free in the 6th round and routinely going undrafted last night. And people are now pushing him up into these 15, 16.
All right. Who are we thinking?
Vipers all over the Bam. Just jam the projections, guys. Well, we'll see who comes back to us here because we can have a conversation. So J-Dub doesn't come back to us. I've been taking Miles Bridges, but if you don't love it and you want to push up, Kyrie or Booker, I'm in. There's one name I don't want you to say because I want it on the way back.
Let's do Kyrie.
You like Kyrie more than Booker?
I mean, I think just think for this draft, we should just do Kyrie.
Interesting. So we could still have Booker here if we want it, but I wanted the Jaylen Brown. My whole plan was setting up the Jaylen Brown.
Let's do Jaylen Brown. You were making fun of all the Devin Booker drafters. So let's take.
Passing on Booker here is bad. I will say that. I was making fun of the Booker drafters who were pushing him up to that corner over there because I think they were overstating his handling role. But now Awen gets Booker. Oh, he passes on him too. I was like, Awen gets Booker at 23, but he's got Donovan Mitchell ahead. So, yeah, this is the furthest I've seen Booker slide.
I have Mitchell over Booker in my current auto draft ranks too.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that checks out without the Garland stuff and missing all the auxiliary players there. So, be interesting to see if Awen's robots just take Mobley at 26 as well and just pair it together. Because in terms of projection, that would probably be accurate. Oh, Vooch falls. So,
guess we'll never know.
We will never know. Brandon says he doesn't see Bam eclipsing 45 fantasy points. I mean, that would be a very safe bet.
I don't think Bam sees himself eclipsing 45 fantasy points.
Yeah. There's the Tyler Hero, and then there's Hartenstein, the ceiling list 28 pick there. We could have Hallie or Mobley.
Ooh. I would if those are my options, I would say Hallie.
All right. Those are your options. I was not going to give you another option because those are two fallers from the left side that barely make it back to the right side. I like it. Damn, I wanted Mobley on the other one. That would have been a sexy team. All right, we got your ADP darlings here, your Toronto guys at the top, but we could do some scrolling. Jamal's going to project better than this. Kristaps, we could pair with. I don't really like that all that much. The Jonas. You want to do the Jonas?
Yeah.
All right, we scroll the F down on this one and add Joe Val to it. That is a Tyrese Maxey, Cade Cunningham, Kyrie Irving, Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Halliburton, and Jonas Valanciunas, a.k.a. the 10K shipper this evening. Don't dupe me. Norm Powell sighting in the last round. This has been kind of a funky draft, but guys are getting unique out here. That's for sure.
Look at the Brandon McNair comment in here. Just a little humble brag in here.
What did it say?
I would sneak up as an assassin. Oh, did you find it?
Yeah.
I would sneak up as an assassin with my non-badge. But unfortunately, they gave me one when I won 10K on Saturday.
So it was Brandon who we shouted out the other day who took down first and second in the hoops contest.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do remember it being Nair or McNair or whatever as the screen name. So shout out to you, Brandon. Definitely seen Brandon around in the chat, and that's why we shout out all the winners in this community because I know they're fucking lurking, dude. If you be winning, you be lurking out here. That is them's the rules.
Freaks can't help it. They want to hear John say their name and say nice things about him.
Get a little glazing.
Hey.
Yeah, that was me. I passed myself.
Unreal.
Oh, so
that's
good.
Like,
fucking try that next time instead of getting a stat correction, Nez. You ever consider just passing yourself?
You ever see the meme of like Obama putting a medal on like himself? That's what Brandon just did there.
So good. Roll the tape back, Tuna. We did I think we did double and I think we did PRA. They're both fine. Why so high on Joe Val? Because they have no other centers. And he's a fantasy point per minute monster. And the spot is somewhat pace up and kind of fine. I mean, it could age really poorly. He could play 24 minutes and it doesn't age well. He could play 28 and it ages well. He could play 32 in a competitive game environment, and he turns into what Daniel Gafford was in the 6th round, 2 weeks ago. So that's why.
Yeah, man. If you get, let's just, dream a little bit. Let's say you get 30 minutes for Joe Val.
Yeah.
How much Joe Val would you have if you had a crystal ball and you knew he was getting 30 minutes? How much Joe Val would be in your portfolio?
Like 40%. Like I would play like just all of it and be like the leverage piece.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I would
no, that's not guaranteed and that's not likely, but I mean it's
right.
the opportunity is there more than really ever before for Joe Val.
Yeah. Do we do the Sabonis thing this time?
Yeah, let's do Sabonis. 20 board Sabonis feels fine, huh?
Yeah, this is interesting, man. This feels like the most stagnant first round, which means the combos are going to mirror themselves at a decent magnitude, because this is what the first round looks like every single time. Cat goes here, Cat goes here, Maxey goes here, Scotty Bolway and Cade go in the next two, and then you're left with this decision, and everybody just clicks Harden. So I mean, it's a pretty stagnant first round for the last 6-7 hours of drafting, and all those front end combos are going to look the same. We could do something funky here and push something up, or do something like, if you like Brunson doesn't always come back.
You could go Brunson here.
Let's fucking do it. Ain't no coward.
No way.
Cowards out here never even consider it, Nez. Never even consider the combinatorial ownership of Sabonis plus Harden over and over and over again.
They wouldn't dare consider it.
They wouldn't dare. Bunch of shook little boys, man. Bunch of shook little boys shaking in their PJs, watching us on their couch right now as they scroll. Any love for the D-Lo double-double? Yeah, we floated that one out there. We were talking about that earlier. Nez had some love for the D-Lo stuff. I'm a little scared about Ben Simmons, but we painted the bull case scenario where they can play alongside each other, and Nez kind of kiboshed my original thesis of being concerned about them. Donovan Mitchell pushing up there. Evan Mobley. We just saw Evan Mobley go in the 6th round. Now all of a sudden he goes at the 1-2 turn. About Yabu tonight. Yabu was cooking before he went to the locker room. Probably a little too thin for Yabu.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
He's just not a stocks guy, not a boards guy. All right, who are we pushing up here? We could do Gafford. We could do Booker. We could do Jaylen Brown.
Gafford, Booker, Jaylen. Do Gafford, man. Let's go Gafford.
All right, let's do it. Just eating Yeez Meese's lunch tonight on the glass.
Gafford rules, dude. I just love him. Just love him.
I mean, we were, in fact, the only dudes in the history of basketball.
Yeah, people forget.
On record saying that the Gafford trades and the PJ Washington trade last year were very good for them. And then what did they do? They went on a nice big run. Western Conference Finals. Great stuff.
NBA Finals.
NBA Finals? Yeah. Won the Western Conference Finals.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am a little worried about my Jalen Williams fade just because he's so awesome as a guy. But, like, man, it just looks so bad. It looks so bad.
Mm-hmm. Fuck. Jaylen Brown goes there. I guess can't buy a 4th round Jaylen Brown share out here to save my life with these sweat lords on the end here. All right, Nez. I want to keep getting funky with this. I think Booker's fine. I think DeJounte's fine. Who do you like?
Let's do Booker this time.
All right.
I do like DeJounte, of course, but Booker, I think, is a 4th round Booker is pretty rare.
Yeah. Although we've
Like
seen it
Booker in the middle,
back-to-back
Booker
drafts.
in the middle of a hot streak goes like 10 picks earlier.
Mm-hmm. Gafford won't be fouling Zion.
I don't know, man. Gafford has been pretty decent about not getting in foul trouble these days.
Zion's gonna be in P jail, bro.
No way. You can't jail him.
I actually watched a decent amount of that game last time out. Let's do RJ. You talked about loving RJ. Let's do RJ.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's do RJ, and then let's give it a really big scroll. Maybe not really big, but like a decent one. I got an idea of who I want.
All right.
Pack your bags. You know where we're going.
Where I don't know where we're going.
Here we go. Hall of Fame fund. You do not get a fund in the Hall of Fame without knowing ball like this. Joe Val's getting 16 rebounds tonight. Ooh. Kelly Oubre too thin. No, that's cool. Kelly Oubre's fine tonight with no PG. It's instant leverage off the other stuff. I mean, I do worry about his complete upper echelon ceiling, but if it's a low scoring slate on the macro, which it's probably not likely to be on an 11 gamer, and 49 points from Kelly Oubre from like a double in the last round, you know,
he's viable. He's viable.
He's viable.
Yeah. No one should be telling you no way.
Yeah. No, if anyone said no way, yeah. Bam goes in the first round or in the second or third round last time. Now he goes in the last round here. Mobley went in the last round last time. He goes in the third round here. People are getting their guys out here. Nez, I wanted to set up a little RJ. Pack your bags. Get your water wings ready. Get the sunblock on your nose. Because we going to the pool party tonight, bro.
That's right. We sure are.
We going
one of my highest drafted players tonight.
To the pool party. So we got ourselves a Sabonis plus Jalen Brunson, which will be combinatorially low because we pushed up Jalen Brunson in here. Who says no to him outscoring James Harden this evening? And then Gafford, Booker, 217 ADPs put together like that. And then a little game stack correlation, RJ Barrett and Jordan pool party going back and forth. Love to see it.
Love it, man. That's a great team.
The baddie's going to be in the stands tonight. You bet your ass they showing out tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Poole or D'Lo if you had one bullet. If I only had one bullet, I think I'm going D'Lo for the leverage, like the ownership leverage. I'd draft a pretty, straight up, kind of chalky, kind of high projecting team, and then I'd just stick D'Lo on with the last one.
Yeah, I like your logic. Poole's one of my highest drafted players, though. So yeah. I would say Jordan Poole, but I like John's logic is makes a lot of sense.
Ricky Council got cucked last night by Justin Edwards. Do we see some burn for Ricky Council tonight?
I mean,
doesn't matter.
Are we talking underdogfantasy.com?
They're just asking questions.
Dog Bowl?
Just asking questions.
I don't have enough energy for Ricky Council questions, man.
Dude, Hump Day Hoops already filled. Holy shit.
Yep.
Wow. I didn't get a single bullet.
If you did not get your Hump Day Hoops drafts in and you wanted to be in that at volume, I'm sorry, man. Like this is what's happening on Dog Bowls. These mains fill super early. Mm-hmm. You got to get it in early. It's Dog Bowl o'clock now. Yeah.
So I think this is a good dynamic, though. We talked about it yesterday. 60 and 60. There's 125K for the main on Monday there. I think you just split that in two. Dog Bowl here, Hump Day here, and then you don't put up any more side contests, and you just make people fill the Dog Bowl the rest of the day.
Yeah, you can't blame them. You can't blame them. Like I'm glad that we had a layup line and a Hump Day Hoops to begin with. $10 price point, I think is very fair for 6-person drafts. I'm excited to see how full this one gets. This is the first time we've done 6-person drafts at $10. So hopefully this can get, past 80%. I would consider that a win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just a reminder to everybody with the Dog Bowl there, it's in San Diego. It's March 6th through 9th, something like that, 7th through 9th. There's a party on the Friday night. There's a brunch and a draft party on the Saturday. Then there's a watch party Saturday evening for the live sweat. Underdog shows out, does beautiful work. The Miami one was great. They one-upped it in Dallas. I imagine they're going to one-up it again here in San Diego. The resort and stuff that we are staying at, I won't share the details and stuff just to protect other people and whatnot, but it is gorgeous. It's beautiful, adjacent to beaches and water. It is, I shared yesterday on the show there, Nez, that I had a family member go down to it over Christmas break there, and it was a pretty penny to stay at this resort, and Underdog's going to put you up at that resort. It's everything's going to be top shelf. It's a dream worth chasing, even if you can only put in 4 or 5 bullets on a given night. For this low price of $10, you get yourself a chance at 200,000 and a dream vacation for 3 nights.
Couldn't have said it better.
All right, my friend. Any last thing you want to hit in the Pick'em lobby before we tie a bow on it?
No, that's all right. I got to get back to the Dog Bowl streets.
All right. Sounds good to me, my friend. We will be hanging out in the Dog Bowl draft streets the remainder of the day. We will be hanging out in the Deposit Kingdom Discord talking ball. I will also be doing some dinger drafts this evening. Absolutely. Paywall show tomorrow. So if you guys are not members, first of all, hit that like, hit that subscribe, notification bell, all that fun stuff, bringing you guys free Underdog content daily, as the name suggests. Any sport. We did baseball yesterday or 2 days ago. I'm losing track of time now. Yesterday. So if you guys want to go back in the archives there, we shared our initial thoughts on the dinger, the drafting landscape, all that fun stuff. We'll be doing plenty more of that in the future there. We'll do a paywall show tomorrow, probably touch on some hoops, touch on some dinger stuff, do whatever, maybe a little puck, who knows, variety hour there. And then on Friday, we will be doing Off and On the Clock with Pete Overzet and some friends and family. Going to be rolling through and having ourselves a Dog Bowl draft party on Friday. So, yeah, that's about it.
It's going to be a blast.
All right. Cool.
Hey, Ron's comment just cracked me up.
What was it? Sorry?
This comment. Missed the whole stream. Oh, damn it.
Well, the beautiful thing about the old YouTube is you can scroll it on back, my friend. A-Rod, appreciate you dropping by. Clay Hobbs with the comment of the day. De'Aaron Fox is pumped. Yeah, he's been playing hurt, man. He's going to get traded. And much to Rocket Sauce's chagrin here, this, in fact, is everybody's favorite time of the show, Nez. The end. Peace.